from the press. I just think that after today, everyone should just subscribe to Footy Adventures. City of Melbourne over there, and then you follow it round to the Rod Laver Arena, which is famous for tennis, the Australian Open, and then keep going around. That's the Melbourne Arena, also used for tennis as well as cycling events, and then you come around to the big bubbly shaped building over there, and that is where Melbourne City and Melbourne Victory play in the A-League, Amy Park. So the MCG, 100,024 people can fit inside that place. It is massive, and you can see it when you're in there. The record attendance for the place back in the 1970s, an AFL game, which is Aussie rules football, which is probably a cross between rugby and American football and my kind of football, soccer if you want to call it that. There was a record during one of those games, and 121,000 people crammed in there back in the 1970s. It was built in 1853, and they've still got the same boundary in place back from the 1800s. Now when they play cricket, obviously the boundary fences have changed over the years, but the actual boundary of where the play goes to has been the same since the 1800s, so that just gives you a real good feel for the history of the stadium. Liverpool have played there in the past. They beat Melbourne Victory 2-0 in a 2013 friendly where 95,000 people turned up. The stadium's a stone throw from Melbourne CBD. If you're anywhere in or around Flinders Street, it'll be around about a 15-minute walk depending on your pace and the heat for the day. It was very hot when we were there, but coming from the other way, if you want to get a train or a tram, you can get off at Richmond Station or Amy Park. There is literally tons and tons of ways of getting there, and it's really easy to get to, and you can't miss it from Melbourne. The Olympic Park Sporting Complex houses the MCG as its main stadium, but also there is Amy Park, which is home to Melbourne City and Melbourne Victory's football teams in the A-League. As well as that, you've got the Melbourne Arena, which has been host to certain events such as cycling and I think basketball, our tour guide said as well. As well as that, you've got Margaret Court Arena and Rod Laver Arena. Now these are two of the biggest and most famous stadiums for tennis in the world. They are basically Australia's version of Wimbledon. So for a 1 hour and 15-minute guided tour of the stadium, it costs $25 per person, and you also get access to the Melbourne Cricket Museum with that. If it's something that you're interested in, all the information is on a website and it's really easy to find. But Melbourne's a great sporting city, and that isn't the only stadium here. As I've already mentioned, there's also the rest of them which are in the Olympic Park, the Amy's, the Margaret Courts, the Rod Lavers, as well as the Marvel Stadium, which is a little bit further away in the city but still within the Melbourne City area. I'm going to be doing another video just covering all the different stadiums that there are, but I hope you've enjoyed the stadium tour, and we'll see you in the next one.